Welcome to Inside the Locker Room. Today, we are very excited and privileged to have with us today Tony Collins, who played 9 years in the NFL, with the majority of them with the Patriots. His career was highlighted by a Pro Bowl selection in 1983 and holds a single-game rushing record of 212 yards for the New England Patriots. He also made a trip to Super Bowl 20. He has written a book on his life and how his choices created difficulty in his life. His book is titled Broken Road. He has risen above those difficulties and is on a good path of making good decisions and has made it his mission to share this with the youths of our communities. Welcome, Tony. Thank you for coming on.
How you doing, Jack? Good to be here.
Pretty good. What's it like being an NFL player? First off.
What's it like being an NFL player? You know, it was everything that I thought it would be. You know, as a kid, you grow up and you see all the great running backs like I was. I was looking at running backs, Jim Brown and Leroy Kelly and Tony Dorsett, and those are the guys that you want to be like. And but it was everything and a whole lot more than I thought it was going to be. Absolutely.
Was there a big adjustment from coming out of college from ECU to playing in the NFL? Was it a huge difference in the game?
I think the biggest adjustment was when I was in college, I didn't have any money. And then when I got to the NFL, I had a whole lot of money, which I thought it was a whole lot of money back in 1981, and it didn't know what to do with it. And so that was the biggest adjustment. The football part was easy. The football part, you work all your life to prepare. You prepare all your life for something like that, and so that part came really easy for me.
So what was your favorite part of playing in the NFL?
I think the biggest thing, my rookie season in 1981, when I first came to New England, you watch Steve Grogan and you watch Sam Bam Cunningham, John Hanna, different guys like that, Stanley Morgan, and now you get the opportunity to play with them. And so it's about the opportunity that I had to play with some great NFL players. Some of them are in the Hall of Fame right now as well. So that part was just so exciting. And one of the things that I think that's so important to me as well is the opportunity. I got the opportunity to play. And one thing that I try to relate to the other athletes, the young athletes that I speak to, is that you're going to get opportunities, but now you got to make some good choices.
So tell us a little bit about your book, Broken Road.
Wow, it's my life. It's everything in there that I thought would help someone else. I think in the beginning, as you read my book, you understand the dedication that I had. I was a fanatic, man. I was pretty bad. I slept with my football. Every single day I thought about football. I thought about being in the NFL.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing at all. And see, one of the key things that I share with the athletes is that what you think about the most will come to you. A lot of times we think about what we don't want to happen when we should be thinking about what we do want to happen. And so every single day, man, every day, I thought about playing in the NFL. We had this long backyard, and we would be out in my backyard. See, I'm from a family of 16, and I have 8 older brothers, and they beat up on me pretty bad. But we would all be out in the backyard, and we'd be back there playing, and they would go inside, but I would stay outside all by myself. Now this look kind of crazy. I'll be outside pretending I'm in the NFL. I heard the crowd roar, I heard the cheerleaders cheer. I was dodging the linebacker the whole 9 yards. And so in my mind, I was in the NFL at 9 years old, and that's one of the things that I share is that everything begins with a thought. What are you guys thinking about the most?
All right, so what led to your breakdown and what you tell about in Broken Road?
I think the biggest thing is choices that I made. When I made it to the NFL, one of the biggest things for me was I was a rookie. My first season being a rookie, and I took 2 guys' jobs. I took Horace Ivory's job and I took Vegas Ferguson's job. Some of you guys probably never heard of these guys before, but they were good football players, and I actually took their jobs. They eventually got fired from New England Patriots. And I remember their looks on their faces on how bad they looked. I felt kind of bad for them, but at the same time I was happy because I was starting. But I remember the looks on their faces, and I made a vow that I was not going to let that happen to me. So I worked my butt off. I was in the weight room. I was doing everything that I should do, so I didn't want nobody to take my job. But you know, as the years went on, I think it was my third or maybe my fourth year, I started getting the bumps and the bruises, and you know, and I started taking painkillers. It was pretty open in the locker room. Everybody was doing it, so I started doing it as well because I wanted to stay on the football field. See, back in the day, if you didn't practice on Wednesday and Thursday, you didn't play on Sunday. So I had to play. I had to practice on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm going through the whole week taking painkillers every day. I remember it was one year I think I had cracked ribs for half the season. You know, I take the cortisone shots before the game, then I take them again at halftime. Then after the game, you know, it wears off. So now I got to take a whole bunch of painkillers just to go to sleep. And so one of my good friends, a so-called friend on the team, he says to me, man, you know, because the painkillers were really upsetting my stomach because I was taking too many of them. And he says to me, he said, man, if you smoke a little marijuana, it would take the nauseousness away from you. I didn't know. I didn't know nothing. I had never smoked marijuana before, so here I am. I know I got to keep taking these painkillers because I got to stay on the football field. And so, sure enough, I took a hit of marijuana, and sure enough, the nauseousness goes away. And so now, I'm popping pills, and I smoke a little marijuana after I pop pills. And this went on for a whole year, actually. Went on for a whole year, and then started making bad choices. And that's the thing that I talk to the athletes about, is that, you know, the choices that you make not only affect you, they affect people that love you. And so I started making bad choices, and it led to me going into the cocaine scene. It led to me, you know, staying out all night, different parties that I shouldn't have been at, hanging around with people I shouldn't have been hanging around with. And it led to me getting suspended from the NFL for a whole entire year. And you know, and when I sit back sometimes and I think about it, you know, it wasn't one bad choice. It was a lot of bad choices that I was making led to me getting suspended from the game that I dedicated my whole life to because of bad choices. And it's just it could be for anybody, it could be one bad choice that could kill you. And so it's all about the opportunities that we're going to get, and I got plenty of opportunities, man, and I'm so blessed, and I'm so fortunate to be raised in a good home, you know, go to a small high school and get a scholarship to East Carolina. That opportunity to get drafted by the New England Patriots, opportunities were coming to me, but I was making bad choices, and those opportunities stopped coming. And so that is what led to me writing this book, because, you know I should not be here today. I should be dead. I should not be alive. And I know God spared my life for a reason. I always thought my destiny and what my purpose in life was to play in the NFL, you know, and that was part of it. But the biggest thing now that I know for a fact is for me to share my life, and that's what I did in the book. I shared my life so other athletes, and not just athletes, anybody who wants to read it can actually understand, man, you know, what I've gone through, and they don't have to go through some of the same things that I went through in my life. And so I'm pretty much on a mission right now and try to get into as many high schools, as many middle schools, as many corporations, as whoever wants to hear me to tell my story to help somebody else.
In the book, you talk about how it affected your family, and like how there was a string of events where, like you said, you thought you should be dead. Why don't you can you tell the viewers?
Well, you know, as far, you know, I was raised in a Baptist church, and my dad was the deacon of the church, and he did Sunday school, so we go to church every Sunday. Didn't miss a beat.
You mentioned that you did not miss a Sunday.
Not one beat, man. We did not miss a beat. And the thing about it, we would go to church because my dad taught Sunday school, and my mom, she was in every part of the church. She did everything, and so we would go to church at like 8:30 in the morning. We would stay in church. We do the Sunday school, we do the first service, and we do the second service, and from 8:30 in the morning all the way till 9 o'clock at night, you know, it's all God, it's all church. And so I was raised the right way, believing in God and understanding what I needed to do. But the thing was, I felt that I had let people down. When I got suspended for the whole entire year, I felt that I let my mom and dad down. I felt my brothers and sisters, my aunties, my uncles, everybody. And for 18 years, I think it might have been even more, I did not come back to Boston. I did not go to my hometown. I did not go to East Carolina. I just stayed away. I didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't anybody want to know who I was, because I felt that I had let people down. I felt that I hurt so many people. And I know I hurt my mom and dad. I know I let them down. And so, but they would never say that. But you know, one of the things that's so key when we make mistakes is to not to dwell in that mistake, and to, you know, you got to brush yourself off. You got to get back up, and you got to get back out there. And that's something that I never did for 18 years. And honestly, 18 years, man, I was thinking negative all the time. There was no positive things going on in my life. I had some kids, and I had my son, who I was actually living through. I was just existing, you know, trying to get him into college, and then I made one choice. I made this great choice of getting this job. This particular job I was going on, I thought I was going to be working with some athletes, working with some kids, and I wasn't. I was just on the phone all day. And the very first day that I go on my job, and I realized, man, all I'm doing is talking on the phone. I don't want to do this, man. This is crazy. So I was going to make a choice to, when lunchtime came, I was gonna quit, and I wasn't coming back. So here's the whole thing. I was gonna go to McDonald's, and I went to McDonald's, and I got a number one. I got a Big Mac, ordered fries, and a high C drink. Remember that very clearly. And I made the decision not to come back. And so, but by the time I got my food, there was something on the inside that said, man, you can't quit. It's your first day on the job. You can't quit. So I go back to that job. And this is a choice that I made. There was a phone ringing. And on the other end of that phone, there was this lady that was from San Antonio, Texas. And I was living in Miami at the time. And she was from San Antonio, Texas. She started talking about her son. And I started talking about my son, because she was bragging about her son. And so I started bragging a little bit about my son. And so we went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then, you know, eventually, I gave her my cell phone number for her to call me. I was flirting a little bit, you know what I mean? And so she called me. She called me back, and she started sending me things over the emails. First, we started talking, and we would talk every night. Some nights we'd be up to 2 o'clock in the morning just talking. Have never met her before, but we're just talking. And so she started sending me emails, different emails of T.D. Jakes and different other ministers, and everything was positive. Now I'm getting all this positive stuff that I've never gotten before, and it helped me change my way of thinking. And here's the biggest thing I believe for students and for athletes is that, you know, in order to see change on the outside, there first must be change on the inside. And so she helped me change my way of thinking. And once that happened, man, it was rocky at first, because it was different for me to be positive. I used to be positive, but for 18 years I was negative, and so it's hard to switch that gear like that. And so, but the positive things started happening, and I made another great choice in my life, and I married that lady. I actually fell in love with her over the phone, and married her, and we are married today, and very, very happy. And so it was just about a choice. If I would not have went back to that job, I would not have met her. And I truly believe that to this day, is that, you know, every choice that we make not only affects you, it affects other people as well.
Mm-hmm. So that was one of the best choices in your life.
Absolutely.
What else has she done to get you back on the right path?
Oh, man. It's so many different things. I think the thing with her is that she's, you know, I hope she's not listening, but I know she is. She's kind of like my mom. Mm-hmm. How my mom used to be with our family. She was the spearhead thing. She was the one who put things together. She was the one who coordinated things, and she's the same way. And she was just a person that I wanted to be with, because I loved her lifestyle, man. She was living like people were supposed to be living. I was living like people weren't supposed to be living, you know? And so it's just with her now, man. I know for a fact God probably looked down on me and said, man, I got to do something about this boy, because he's going to kill himself if I don't. And I truly believe that God sent her to me for just like an angel. She doesn't take a lot of credit for it, but I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for my wife, Trudy.
So before she came along, you had the dark period in your life.
Yeah.
How easy do you think it is for a professional athlete to fall into the trap of drugs and partying and alcohol and everything bad that you suffered?
It's really easy, but you just have to go back again to the choices. Right now, the NFL is doing, I think, a fantastic job as far as the rookies that are coming in. They have a rookie symposium that they do every year for these rookies, and guys will talk to them about how to handle your money, who not to hang out with, places you should not be going, and different things like that. They have it laid out for them. When I came into the league, okay, you just went to training camp and played football. There was no, how to handle your money. There was no anything about what you should do or how you should do things. We didn't have that, but they have that now. But it still comes back to choices. Comes back to the choices that you make. You never see Peyton Manning at a club or a bar or getting arrested for DUI. Why? Because of the choices that he makes. And there's a whole lot of other great players that are doing great things in the NFL. But of course, the media has to get the bad stuff, and because that sells, the bad thing sells. Yeah, and they blow that thing up. And these are the things that everybody's looking for. They're looking for guys to make mistakes, and sure enough, these guys are making some bad choices. They go out to a club instead of getting a taxi or getting a limo, which they could afford. They want to drive, and they get the DUI, and now it's just a rolling effect. But for me, I look back in my life and I see some of the things as what I've gone through, but I think it's even tougher for them today because of the media, because of all the things, the computers, the Twitter, the Facebook, and I'm not knocking all that stuff, but it's so easy now to get hooked up into bad things right now for these guys. But again, it just comes down to choices.
Mm-hmm. So how do you think the NFL is handling today with the drug situation and watching all their players and the testing and everything?
I think they're doing a good job. I think they're doing a good job with it. They give guys I think enough warning to let them know that if you mess up one time, you're going to get fined. You're going to get suspended for maybe 2 or 3 or 4 games, and then if it keeps happening, you could get suspended for a whole entire year. The case with me, and it's just. You can only do so much. The NFL can only do so much. It comes down to these players making good decisions, making the right choices, and understanding that this game that we love so much, and these guys love football, because in order to make it to where they made it, you have to love it. Mm-hmm. And they love football, but it gets down to them just making a decision on understanding that, man, this is not going to last too long. The NFL stands for not for long, if you didn't know that. It's not going to last too long. I mean, 3 or 4 years is the average year of a player. So what are you going to do if you don't save your money? If you're out spending your money all the time, you're going to be broke by the time you get 30. So they're doing, I think, the best that they can with what they have. But the biggest thing is, and you just got to keep going back to it. It's your choice. You got to make this choice.
If you had all the guidance that the current day players had back when you were playing, how do you think your career would have turned out?
I would like to say that it would be different. I would like to say that, but I just really don't know. And then I believe now I live with no regrets. There's some things that I've done in my life that I'm not proud of at all. But I don't know. If I didn't go down that path, I don't know if I would be with my wife right now. I don't know if I would be in the position right now to help more people. I don't know. But I have
to be on the set right now.
On the set with you, Jack. And so I live with no regrets, because I love how my life is right now. I mean, I absolutely love it. Because if you read the book, there were some dark times in my book where I was alone and I was just negative and never thought about suicide, but always depressed all the time. Always just stayed in the house, didn't go nowhere. So it was that type of life. But now I understand, man. If I would have maybe changed some of the things, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now to help more people.
Mm-hmm. So your playing career, can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I think you know, as a rookie, I came in the league and I got Rookie of the Year in 1981. The second season we had a short season, we had the strike, and the third season was my breakout year. Rushed for over 1,000 yards, and I made the Pro Bowl. And I think the biggest highlight of my not of my life, but one of the biggest highlight of my career was, you know, the record that I have with the Patriots right now, the 212 yards. You know, as long as Tom Brady's there, that probably won't get broken.
Probably
so I'll just wait to see how long Brady will play, because the record's been there since '83. But somebody's going to break it. You know, the records are meant to be broken, and so. But you know, and then making it to the Super Bowl. You know, that's every childhood's dream, is to make it to the Super Bowl. You know, I always talk about. You know, I talk to the athletes about, you know, what you think about the most will come to you, and dream. Well, I did a lot of dreaming coming up. I probably played about 50 Super Bowls in my mind, and I was the MVP for all the Super Bowls, right? 5 touchdowns, the whole works, right? And so, I would dream these things, and I got the opportunity to play in Super Bowl 20 against the Chicago Bears, and that wasn't a good game for the New England Patriots. We got beat pretty bad that year. But it was a great experience just getting there to a Super Bowl. There's guys who played 10, 15, 20 years, maybe not 20, 15 years, has never made it to the Super Bowl. And I got that opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl, man. And it was, and I truly believe it was because of hard work. We had a good team that year. I think that was the year that Raymond Berry came in and really just taught us how to win, because we really didn't know how to win. I think my rookie season, when I got to New England, we went 2-14. I mean, we only won 2 games, and that was just, you know, I wasn't used to losing, and I remember there were some games, man, and this is no lie. There were some games where we would be winning the game, and we would be on the bench, and we would say, I wonder what's going to happen today for us to lose the game. You know, that's just how we were thinking.
Just the mentality.
Yeah, the mentality of the team. 2-14, and we went 2-14 that year. And when Raymond Berry came in, he kind of changed the whole thing around. He taught us how to win. He taught us how to play at a level that we had never played at before. We didn't have a whole bunch of new players come in. It was just him and the teaching that he gave us. Now, mind you, Raymond Berry is a Hall of Famer, a great person, a great coach. And someone that believed in God too, and I think that was another thing that, you know, that he brought into us, and that part, I think, and the camaraderie that we had that year was probably one of the best ever. You know, we would always be together. If you see one of us, you seen maybe 2 or 3 at the same place. You know, we would hang out a lot. And the camaraderie is something that's huge. When you wanted to win some games and make it to where we made it, and so it was a great run. The first Super Bowl that New England had ever went to before, I got the opportunity to play in that. Again, like, we didn't do well, but we made it, you know, and that season was a great season for the Patriots. It kind of like put us on the map a little bit and got us started. And, you know, right now, I mean, this is a dynasty here now, so it's pretty good.
In that Super Bowl, you had to face that nasty Bears defense,
Chicago Bears defense, man. And I tell guys today, and guys will tell me today, man, that defense was probably the best defense that the NFL has ever seen.
Really?
Meaning the schemes that they had, and you know, they had Buddy Ryan, who was a great defensive coordinator. He was there, but they had the players to play the scheme that he had. They had on that defense. They probably had, I think, 5 Hall of Famers. Wow. On just the defense.
Yeah.
Just the defense, and you know, when's the last time you see a defensive end get an MVP in the Super Bowl? You know, Richard Dent got MVP for the Super Bowl because he had probably like 6 sacks. So it was a complete. We completely got dominated in that game, but again, you know, it was fun getting there. I think the thrill for us was the playoffs. When the playoffs started, we got a chance to go to New York, got to beat the Jets. We go out to L.A., we beat the Raiders, and then we played the Miami Dolphins in the AFC Championship game, and we hadn't won down there in about 19 years. And we go down there and we just totally annihilate those guys. We kill them, and now we got this opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. But I think we burst our bubble in Miami.
So what's it like playing against all these greats like William Perry in the Super Bowl? You played against him.
Man, I mean, I've told the story a few times. My rookie season, man, I was in awe a little bit of making it because it was a childhood dream, and I remember my rookie season playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I don't know if you remember Mean Joe Green. You know Mean Joe Green, Jack? You ever heard of him?
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Hall of Famer. Mean Joe Green, he was on the other side, and so I'm on the field and I'm seeing Mean Joe Green, man. I'm playing against Mean Joe Green, and it was pretty cool, man. And I remember one play, Steve Rogan drops back for a pass, and he throws the ball, and I'm not supposed to block Mean Joe Green. I don't even try to get near Mean Joe Green, But after Steve throws the ball, Mean Joe Green comes up to me. The ball is not even near us. The play's way down there. Mean Joe Green elbows me right in the face, Max, and really just knocks my head back like that. And I was like, man, why'd you do that? He goes, welcome to the NFL, rookie. That was one of the things that they did to rookies. So, but playing against great players. Michael Singletary was a great player that I played against. And
he was pretty good too.
Yeah, he was a pretty good player. I got a chance to play against Dan Marino. Actually, I got the opportunity to play with Dan Marino my last season in the NFL. I played with the Miami Dolphins for 1 year, so I got the opportunity to catch a few passes from Dan Marino. It was as a childhood dream making it to the NFL. I wouldn't change it. I would do it all over again, but I would probably do it a little bit different.
Just a little. So you've talked a lot about your family. How big an influence are they on you, to both during your playing career and today?
I think today is huge for me. I'm very family oriented, and I love being around my family. I got 5 grandkids. I love to see them come, and I love to see them go. And I have 8 kids. Through my marriage with Trudy, we have 8 kids together, and man, it's fun. I think the biggest thing right now that I want for my kids is to understand, the life that I live. They all know, and so they definitely don't need to make the same mistakes that I made. But I just want them to be happy, man. And that's the biggest thing. We go through life and we work hard and we work hard and we work hard. And we're not happy. Now, one of the things that I truly believe and that I'm so blessed is that I'm doing something that I love to do. I'm doing something that that I feel that it's helping people as well. And so you can't make people happy. That happiness has to come from them, and you want to live a happy life, man. And I think the biggest thing for me with my family is I just want them to be happy, understanding the principles that I laid down for them. And when I played in the league, I wasn't a big family guy, and because I was in the streets, man. I was having a good time. I was living my life and doing the things that I was
a life
as an NFL football player, and I was living it until the fullest. And so it wasn't. I didn't have a big family life when I was playing ball, but now it's very near and dear to my heart that my family is there, and I can be there for them as well.
Mm-hmm. With the concussion debate in football, would you have let your kids play when they were younger, knowing everything you know now?
If they wanted to play the game of football, yes, no question about it. It's something that football is a rough sport. I mean, and you could get injured, and you could get injured really bad, where you may not get back up again. And so, but it's something that we knew going into it, and I would definitely, if my boys, and I'm not going to have any more boys, and hopefully I'll have some grandkids coming up pretty soon, some more grandkids coming up pretty soon, and so if they want to play ball, I'll definitely talk to them about it and won't try to stop them at all, because I think it's a great sport. I think it's a sport where you can really learn about life in that. You know, football is a team sport, and you learn a lot of things through football. You learn the ups and the downs of life just by going out on that field and battling every weekend, and understanding that, you know, sometimes you're not going to win, and sometimes it's going to be tough, and you will win, but in the end, you know, it's a sport that I would definitely, if my grandkids wanted to play, man, I would tell them, yeah, let's go for it.
Did your sons coming up play?
Yeah, my oldest son graduated from University of Pittsburgh. My youngest son also went to East Carolina and played football there at East Carolina, and they wanted the opportunity. My oldest son got the opportunity to play. His rookie season, he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he broke his foot, and then his foot got infected, and it was a big mess, and he still wants to try to follow his dreams, but I don't know what he's going to do right now. But, you know, the biggest thing for me with my boys is that they graduated college. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the biggest thing for me. They both graduated college. My youngest son actually has his master's, and so that's huge for me. And that's something that, you know, when I came out, my rookie season, you know, I made a choice not to graduate college. I went to the NFL. Forget school. I don't need school anymore. Mm-hmm. And not thinking, man, you know, anything could happen, and I'm injured. I don't even have a college education, and so the biggest thing for me was for them to graduate college, and I'm very, very proud of them. And so, because they did something that I didn't do.
So was that your motivation for going back and graduating?
Absolutely. That was part of it. And again, you know, when I go out and I talk to athletes all the time, I tell them the importance of education. And when I first started doing it, and I thought, you know, man, you know what? I don't have a degree. I need to go back to school. And my wife, she was 100% 100% helped me with that. We actually even moved. When my son transferred to East Carolina, we actually moved to Greenville to stay by him, to help him out a little bit. But at the same time, we had a plan that I was going to go back to school and finish my degree. So I went back, and at the young age of 52, I got my bachelor's degree in communications.
Well, hey, it's better than not having one.
That's it.
Is that what you went to school for originally?
No. I went to school to play football.
Mastering in football.
Mastering in football.
And then employed by the NFL.
That's it.
So what would you tell young players today if you could tell them about the sport and how to deal with, like, being a star and all the fame that comes with the NFL?
I think the biggest thing that these athletes need to understand and they need to get is if they really want to have a great season, they have to have a great off season. And what I mean by that, how hard you work during your off season is going to determine how well you play during the season. And that's the biggest thing for a lot of athletes. You know, a lot of athletes play more than one sport. They may play basketball, they may play football, and that's fine. That's great. But your biggest thing that you want to make sure you concentrate on is your off season. You got to work your butt off during the off season, because if you don't, believe me, there's somebody else that is at another school, and if you don't put the work in, man, you're not gonna get the results from it. You know, a lot of kids, they want to be great, and they have that athletic ability, but in order to be the best, you can't do what everybody else is doing. You know, you have to separate yourself. You can't be at every party. You can't do this. You can't do that. Some nights you're going to have to stay up till 11, 12 o'clock because you're working out, and now you got to study because you're a student athlete. Student first, athlete second. And so you got to put all this time in. And then there's some days you got to get up 5 o'clock in the morning because you got to go work out. And it's all about the effort. It's all about putting the work in. And what you put in, it's what you're going to get back out. So in order to be a great player, in order to be the best, you can't do what everybody else is doing. And I realized that at a young age in my life too, because, you know, I wanted to be the best. I wanted to do those things. I wanted to make it to the NFL, and I have to say, man, to me, it came really easy for me. I mean, it really did. Football was easy. I mean, just totally easy, and it was because I put the work in. And so that's the biggest thing now for these kids to put the work in. But the main thing is graduating college. You know, walking across that stage, one of the proudest moments of my life, and I mean that. I've been inducted into my East Carolina Hall of Fame, my high school Hall of Fame. You know, all the playing in the Pro Bowl, playing in the Super Bowl. I wear this ring. It represents East Carolina, but to me, it represents me going back to school and graduating from East Carolina. And so that was, and it was hard too. It wasn't easy going back to school at the age of 52. And so this is something that I cherish a lot, and I understand, and I want these kids to understand, man, it's all about getting the education. With that education, it's going to open up so many doors for you and so many opportunities. Okay, so the better choices that you make, the more opportunities you're going to get.
So, do you have any more comments before we wrap up, or?
No, you did a great job, Jack.
Thank you very much.
You did a great job. I'm truly blessed. I'm living the life that I know that I should be living right now, and God has really blessed my life and blessed my family. And so it's how many people can I reach? How many people can I help change their thinking? You know, you can't change people, but you can help change their way of thinking, and that's going to help change them. And so that's my goal. That's my mission.
Well, we do have a couple young athletes here. Do you guys have any questions, or?
What's it like playing in the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna tell you, man, playing in the Super Bowl the week before the Super Bowl was all the hoopla, all the crazy stuff that was going on. That part was kind of crazy because, you know, you get the media's there. You know, I had some media members knocking on my door at my hotel room trying to get you know, something to go into the game. But once the game started, it was just like another game. But we knew we were in the Super Bowl, but it was just like another game, but it was a great ride, great getting there. Absolutely fun.
Any more? Or?
What's the biggest change in the schedule from when you're in the NFL to when you're out?
Wow. You know, it's been so long since I've been out. I'm trying to think. You know, the biggest thing in the NFL, you know where you're going to be in the fall. In the fall, when the season starts, man, you play on Sunday, you come in on Monday and for a little bit, and then you have Tuesday off, and then you come back in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then Saturday, whether either you're traveling or you know, you're at home. It depends on, you know, you stay in a hotel. But you know, now it's like, you know, you got to work. You got to really work. I mean, this is a real life out here, man. It's not. You're not in the NFL anymore. I'm on the road again. I'm in hotel rooms a lot, pretty much like I was before. So I'm kind of doing some of the same things. And I have to say this, man. Every time I go and I speak at a school, I kind of just get quiet and almost like I'm getting ready to go to a football game, just like I was when I was playing. I get kind of quiet. I kind of try to get in that zone. You know what I'm talking about. Get in that zone, and you want to do well. You want to make sure you do well, and that these kids can understand you and maybe get something out of it. And you know, you get the butterflies, man. It's just like it's just like a football game to me now, and I love it because it reminds me of football so much. And you want to do well, and it's been going really good. I'm really happy. Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have any more? Or? You guys good? All right. Can you just tell us a little bit about the Tony Collins Foundation?
Tony Collins Foundation. Right now we're from my hometown. We're doing a lot of fundraising. The main thing is autism right now that we do. There's a school back there, Cuga Lake School, that we try to raise a lot of money for and help the autistic kids and also not just autism. We do a lot of other different charity events, charity things to just help athletes out. We give out scholarships, and we're trying to raise as much money as we can and to help as many people as we can. And that's one of the things that, you know, I grew up understanding that when you give, you're going to always receive. So I've always been a giver, and that's what the Tony Collins Foundation is all about. It's all about giving.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Tony, for coming on. If you want to contact his reps and have Tony on for any reason, for an appearance or anything, you can give Susan Shannon a call at 617-513-7757. Thank you very much, and we'll be back next time on Inside the Locker Room.